Lauren Raschke hails from right here in Houston, Texas. She's here representing Mission of Hope, which you can actually see right behind our set. And but Lauren is this is not the first time you've been to the M3 conference. I understand you have a little bit of a story, but welcome. It's good to have you here.
Thank you.
And we're glad you're here. She's one of my favorite people, Chuck, and I love her story because it really epitomizes what M3 is about. But Lauren, tell them a little bit. What do you do as a profession?
I am a nurse, work in pediatrics. I work at Children's Memorial Hermann Hospital.
Yeah, and you've been doing that for a long time, haven't you?
I have, about my 11th year. So.
That's amazing. You look like you're just out of nursing school. So.
I wish.
But you know, we were talking, Chuck, about how God kind of stirs something on the inside, makes us uncomfortable. That happened to you several years ago, didn't it?
It did, yes.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, so I graduated from nursing school, got my dream job, and was loving my life. Lived in the medical center, loved my job, but my life was very comfortable and felt God stirring in me to do something else. And I didn't know what that was. I thought maybe a different job, maybe a different city. But after that didn't work out and still felt that unwrestling, and found out about this M3 conference. This was back in 2016, and felt God say, go to this and figure out what else there is for you.
Let's stop there for a second. Explore that, because I was trying to explain to Chuck, what is that? Because I had the same thing many years ago. How describe that feeling? You're comfortable, but something's not right.
After processing it, I realized I was so comfortable that I didn't need God. So I had everything at my fingertips. I mean, I had a great job, access to money, I had friends and family and everything so good that I didn't need God. And it didn't take until I got to a point where I absolutely needed God for everything that I realized this is what I was missing, that urgency and that need for God to take care of all my needs.
Yeah. And so sometimes it's not necessarily just the mission He has for you, it's the desire that He has for your dependency on Him. And I think that's but you know, for me, Lauren, I don't know if it's like this for you, I couldn't figure out what that feeling was at first. It took me months to figure out it was a spiritual issue.
Absolutely.
And not I'm just down, or I'm burned out, or did you have that?
Absolutely. And it took, like you said, months for me to figure that out too. And I tried to search. I said maybe it was my job that I wasn't happy with. Maybe it was the location that I wasn't happy with. And when all those things struck out, I went to the spiritual. I said, okay, I need to focus more on God, put Him, and then He was able to satisfy everything.
Yeah.
So.
Tell us, you came to M3 then.
Came to M3 in 2016, unaware of where God was leading me, what He wanted from me, just knew that He said, come here. And so I came here, went through all the different organizations and talked to many different people. Honestly, was feeling a little overwhelmed with everything because I didn't know where God wanted me or what. And I just remember praying, okay, God, make this loud and clear. Where do you want me? What do you want me to do? And when I went to the Mission of Hope booth, just felt God say, this is where you're supposed to go. Wow. And I said, okay. I had never been to Haiti. I had never been gone longer than a week from home. And so when I felt God say, go here long term, I was like, no, I refused it, but felt so much peace that I said, okay, I will go.
Yeah. It's interesting, when you made the decision to go, did the unrest go away? Completely. It's an amazing thing. It's exactly. So I was coming home from the memorial service of my dad, US 59, the Cleveland exit, and all that angst I had inside about what is it I'm supposed to do. When I felt like God said, give up your practice, move to Houston and help, and I made a decision right there. Jen and I made a decision to say, that I tell everybody it made no sense to my head, but it made perfect sense to my heart, because all that anxiety on the inside, unrest, it was calm.
What did you think was gonna, like when you heard that and you knew that, like what did you anticipate that your role would be? Because
I didn't know.
At that point, everything was so fresh and new.
I had no idea. I just know I was supposed to help. And so I understand the word help. I'm a type A personality. I want to know what my job is, how to do it well. And it wasn't like that for a long time. The other thing is, everybody said you came to help Joel. I didn't. I did ultimately, but I came in obedience to Jesus. And there's a big difference, because sometimes when it got tough here, you know, and Joel and I never had conflict, but I'm talking about just, it was hard. Yeah. Boy, when you know that it was Jesus that called you, it makes a huge difference, because like my sister said, the only options you have when you know Jesus has clearly spoken to you is obedience or disobedience. That makes it really clear.
Yeah, it's pretty clear at that
I
point.
wanted to stay in obedience, and so then what happened, Lauren?
So then you're right. I felt so much peace about it. And so, because people have asked me, they said, how did you do that? How did you leave your job and your life here? And I said, well, easy, because God told me to. And so quitting my job that apparently was my dream job and leaving my home and my family, my friends that I've, grown up here, lived here my whole life. But did all that, got on a plane and went to Haiti, not knowing what was before me or what I was supposed to even do there. But I went there and started my life there. My job was medical missions coordinator, so leading medical teams every week out into the remote villages of Haiti, serving the medical and physical and spiritual needs.
And you did that for years?
3 years.
3 years.
Yes. At first I was like, okay, I'm just going to go here for short term, cross that off the box. I know God wanted me to, and then come home after that. But once I got there and God just worked through me, and I couldn't leave. I fell in love with it and the work that I was doing, and I felt so much peace about it.
That's amazing. And then you transitioned back.
Transitioned back home.
Now, when you transitioned back, did you get that anxiety and angst again on the inside?
Absolutely not. I told God, I said, well, now I love it here so much. You're going to have to call me back home to leave, because I'd fallen in love with the country and the people. And so I prayed a lot about that. And again, felt that same peace that God was saying, come back home. And not leaving the mission, but changing the mission, coming back home and doing mission here.
Exactly.
And so now it's been really cool to see how my life looks similar on paper as what I did before, but it's so much different as far as how God's using me and the different doors He's opened because of my time that I've did over.
Let me ask you, once you come back, it's easier to be more dependent on Him for everyday things, isn't it?
Absolutely, because I know what it's like to be stripped from all my comforts and to need Him, and so I'm going to come back here and keeping that in mind.
Yeah, I was telling Chuck a minute ago that I don't feel like God's called us to be miserable, but He's never called us to be comfortable as well. And I tell my kids all the time, if I've modeled you a comfortable Christianity, I've not done it right.
Yeah.
And so I think we should always be on the edge, ready to do anything that God asks us to do, no matter how difficult it is. So.
Talk about Mission of Hope. You're here representing us right behind us.
Yes, absolutely. So Mission of Hope started just in Haiti, which is where I went and lived for 3 years. Since the last year actually, we moved to different countries. So now we're located in Dominican Republic, Bahamas, and Guatemala.
Wow.
So we do medical and non-medical needs, but for the medical needs, we do mobile clinics. We partner with the local churches in each of the countries, and so we have full-time staff there, but we work with the local churches in serving the physical and spiritual needs of the communities there.
Some details on some of the things that you do, just practically every day.
So going out into the communities, we will partner with the church, so going to churches or schools and setting up a clinic, triaging them and handing out medication, sharing the gospel with them. If they have a need in the community of house building, or if there's a kids camp, we'll help with that, or just going around the communities and door to door sharing the gospel and just making sure that everyone knows and feels the love of Jesus there.
Yeah. So have you been enjoying the conference so far?
Absolutely. I love M3, and it's so awesome being around people similar minded of loving the Lord and missions minded and medical focus is really, really cool.
You know, Chuck, for a long time, I felt like I was the only person that felt this way. And then to be able to find a tribe of people, it's not a huge tribe, but just to find your tribe, you realize, they share the same heart. And that is and one of the things about M3, when we started, we wanted to connect just attendees, but what we didn't realize is that there's so many great organizations that do great works, but they never get to connect. So the exhibitors love to come and connect with each other very often. And what we've also found is one organization works in Uganda, and they don't know another organization that's working in Uganda, 20 kilometers away, and all of a sudden, right here at M3, we're able to, connect people that work in different places. This year it's been Malawi. I've connected about 5 people that didn't know each other really from Malawi, and they meet here at M3.
Yeah, I saw that happen last night when you were in the main session and had Andrew and one of the other guests, Scott.
Andrew Scott?
Yeah, Andrew Scott and the gentleman from Samaritan's Purse, Alan. Thank you, sorry.
Yeah.
And it was so funny to watch the two of them, sort of greet each other and then have this off-camera dialogue that was so fascinating. And as an outsider and a non-medical professional or a non-mission person, it was just funny to watch and inspiring to see that connection. Oh, you know this person. Oh, you know that person. I see that happening all over here.
Yeah. It's a small tribe, and if you don't know the person, you probably know somebody that knows them.
Right.
So.
That's what I was experiencing and seeing that. You mentioned exhibitors. Talk a little bit about some of them. There are so many that are here. I know we can't name them all. But.
Well, right behind me is Christian Medical and Dental Association, and if you're a professional in medical or dental, you need to know the Christian Medical and Dental Association. They're right behind me. Houston welcomes refugees. We had Molly up here yesterday, but that's a great organization. If you don't have any refugee ministry in your city, if you're not in Houston, I would encourage you to look into that. Start one, find out some refugee way that you can be involved in refugee ministry. But if you're in Houston, Houston Welcome Refugees is amazing. And then Living Water, one of our just local people here, Living Water's done a great work with drilling water wells for years, and they're here. And matter of fact, you can take a challenge. You can take one of these jerry cans of water that weighs about, I think, 30 pounds, and you can walk it around the sanctuary, around the bowl here, and see what it feels like when these women carry water for all these miles in sub-Saharan Africa.
You're going to do that later on.
Yeah.
You see people all the time doing it. And then Mercy Ships. Mercy Ships is an amazing organization. They're docked in West Africa and doing a great work there. And then, of course, probably the premier exhibitor here is Samaritan's Purse. And they've got so many different organizations that help all around the world, from disaster relief to Operation Christmas Child to just World Medical Mission, lots of organizations.
Yeah. Dr. Paul only mentioned a few, but if you can see this, you can tell that there are dozens and dozens, and all of that information is available to you as well. All you have to do is go to m3missions.com/resources. It's a PDF file. It's the exact same brochure I'm holding in my hands, but you can print it off, just peruse it, look it over, all the information on all the exhibitors here, as well as some of the conference sessions that have already happened from this year's conference and previous conferences. You can watch those, get inspired, m3missions.com. About 90 seconds, Dr. Paul, before we go to our first breakout session.
I think if you're watching and you have friends that would like to watch, call them and tell them to tune in, because we'd love to have them watch the rest of the conference today. And anyway, it's been fun doing the live stream.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. We're going to be here all day. We'll have content from here that you won't hear anywhere else other than here. But of course, we got to get into our breakout session here in just a couple of minutes.
Hey, write us too.
Yeah,
Comments.
Please do. Let us know where you're watching from. In fact, we just heard from Jessica Lim. Jessica is watching from Singapore. She's been on several missions trips since 2009. She's been organizing them for the last 5 years. Your friends from Zambia are watching again this morning.
Habumba.
A little shout out to them. Also somebody from the Dominican Republic. So wherever you're watching from, thank you for joining us today. So glad to have you here. Stay tuned for more.